Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real World Talk Show where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Right here is your host, JRX36, our special guest, Jacob, and we got Jaden here playing his games. Ouch. This is an All Ages Alliance production.
This is IU right here. Right here. Let's go like this. Y'all see Juju right there. It's a family affair. We going in today. Let's
like that.
go.
Look, we'll do a thing out here, and then look, we'll use my building, or we can use another building too. Like we could just yeah, that way it could even be that much more meaningful. Like we'll have something going on here that is work related as well. Because I think that would be a good a way that people may want to sponsor a trip. Like we'll pay for your ticket, you know. So yeah, okay, perfect. So we'll include that. That way when we can plan for it later on in the year when you have a better clue as to when you want to come.
Yeah, when I have a better clue and like when everything is starting to align and everything like that together and stuff, then I'll be able to provide you with a better idea like when we can come and things like that and stuff.
Okay.
And then now before we get close to the audio and stuff, okay. Now that I've read this, for the infographic, like I've been taking notes on what it exactly says in a book. I'm thinking, should I go back and reword those notes in my own words, or should I just kind of like on each one just kind of give like a little intro of what it's talking about in my words?
Shout out to Alex for note taking. Note taking is amazing. You can, if you don't like the idea of note taking, you can call it doodling, or basically just writing down your thoughts, journaling, doodling, note taking, whatever you want to call it. It's important to do it if you want to better visualize the future you're trying to manifest. Now, if you don't doodle, if you don't journal, if you don't write it, then you're going to be dependent on your memory. And if your life gets overwhelming, then it'll be challenging for you to continue to work towards that dream that you set out to achieve / accomplish.
Also put the words, the notes exactly from the book on there. What do you think?
I think do what you just said last. Keep the ones from the book and put yours in it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think that way, it's all good. We can see both.
Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Right here. Yeah, I'm excited about you doing these book reviews because then as you complete the book reviews, I can, on my schedule for the young people, I have a book list. So I can start adding the books that you recommend to the book list, and then they can come with a book review. So, and that works perfectly.
And then my 2 books that I'm taking with me, because I'm taking homework as well, and I don't want to be doing I don't want to be overworking myself too much, but I am going to take Difficult Conversations, and I don't know why, but I'm feeling this entrepreneurship.
Yeah. No, that you had yesterday. You was.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this with me too. I'm kind of digging it. I'm gonna have the social media one last. I'm gonna take this with me.
You can look at the Taboo Free Talk Show. That is a venture. That's a business venture. So like, as you read it, you can be like, okay, how does this apply?
Entrepreneurship is key. We all should be thinking about entrepreneurship. That should be our primary education: is how to create currency, how to generate an income that can help you sustain a livable quality lifestyle.
It is. Now, and I definitely love to hear the feedback.
So yeah, those are the 2 books that I'll be taking. I'm gonna still continue to study my science. I'm gonna continue to do everything.
Quality lifestyle includes having access to all the tools you need to be creative. Quality lifestyle has to do with eating the quality foods that are nutritious for you, and being able to have a variety of foods that represent the different colors of the color spectrum, like eating the rainbow.
Keep up with everything, have our meetings, all of that. Just with my arrival time Tuesday, if something was to occur where I possibly can't meet, I'm gonna definitely let you know. But from whatever way everything's looking out, I'll be able to meet.
Okay, yeah, just let me know. Keep me posted. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Then you get to meet my family, my brother. I'm going to my brother's house, so you get to meet him.
Yeah. That should be good. It sounds like you're gonna have a good time.
Man, Julian, my phone been blowing up. Everybody want to see me, but it's COVID. So, and my brother like, we ain't gonna have a whole bunch of people up here. But it's good to see people. It's good to see faces.
Yeah, of course it is. All right, you ready for this art of seduction?
Yes.
All right.
I can't wait till my book come in. I'm still on the waiting list.
I know, for the 48 Laws of Power?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll mess with seduction for now, but the 40, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the 48 Laws of Power. And this one too, I'm a fan of his books. Now, one thing that I could say is that I was watching an interview with him today, and he admitted, or he said, that he does have a negative bias when it comes to how he looks at the world. And that makes complete sense, because that's probably why I'd be like, dang, he's so grimy. Or man, like everything seems like so controlling or manipulative. But I guess he's coming from a place of negativity, which, you know, he says that we're like, you know, he believes that we're animals, and that, you know, because we're animals, we have more of a tendency towards negative behavior towards it.
So now we're talking about mindset. Now I'm describing the mindset of an individual who described his own mindset to be, I guess, on the pessimistic side. So I'm just going over this mindset. What's your mindset? Do you have a winning mindset? Do you have a family or a team-oriented mindset? Or are you flying solo?
Each other. Now, I don't think that that's the case, at least not for Caribbean people, at least not for like I don't think that that's the Black condition. Maybe that has something to do with being born in the cold and having to fight for resources. But if you got food everywhere and you don't feel like in competition with other people over food, which is like the main thing, then I think it's easier to have a more positive outlook. But anyway, so I did want to mention that because it appears that we have a positive outlook, which is probably why sometimes, at least for me, when I hear his books, I'm like, man, that sounds grimy, like sheesh, like that's cutthroat, or that's like manipulative or whatever.
Let's talk about a positive outlook or asset-based mindset. You know, so if you have a scarce mentality, if your mindset is based on scarcity and not abundance, then your actions and your expressions are going to reflect that. You know, so you are to be conscious of what kind of mindset do you have, because having a deficit-based mindset, one that is focused on the lack thereof and is in fierce competition with others, you know, that's a lifestyle, and that gets its own set of consequences. Having an optimistic mindset based on collaboration and cooperation, you know, that's a whole different perspective. That's not competition, so that has its own set of consequences. But if this is what we're talking about, it's important we bring attention to the nuances in these words.
But it doesn't necessarily have to, because he has a negative outlook, maybe that's why it kind of sounds like that. But when we look at it from a positive standpoint, we can take the good and kind of ignore the negative without, you know, letting that affect our character. Because I don't want to be affected. I don't want a negative. I don't want to be manipulative. And I think that we can play the game of seduction without being deceptive too. I think that two grown adults can make an agreement to have fun with each other. You know, if there's a level of trust, I think two adults can say, hey, I trust you, you trust me, let's play the game of seduction without being malicious about it, and then turn it into a fun, playful thing.
And let's call that courting. You know, seduction sounds a bit intense, but it's actually courting. You know, and that's courting minus the X. You know, that's courting. And that's where you get to have fun with each other, get to be playful, without necessarily being disrespectful. That ought not be part of the equation, unless that's part of the experience that's wished or desired. And then if that's the case, then be ready for the consequences.
Now, I don't think that was the intention of why he wrote it, but I think as someone that's optimistic about the future, I think that's a more positive way of playing the game of seduction that doesn't include deception. It can include omission, leaving things out, because maybe that's the spice where we're leaving things out, but it's not leaving
things out for you to discover
with the intention of hurting.
Leaving things out with the intention of you discovering it, like a surprise, like a treasure hunt, like accomplishing a mission. What's up, Papa? What's up? You want some of that water?
It's more of making it more interesting, because the idea is like, if life is a game, well then let's have fun playing it, and we can play seduction and play on that energy without having to be manipulative and destructive. Mm-hmm. All right, here goes. So this piece is going to be on the charismatic. Now it's kind of long, so I won't play the whole clip for charismatic. So I'm going to try to listen to when I cut it off. But this is the charismatic.
The charismatic. Charisma is seduction on a mass level. Charismatics make crowds of people fall in love with them, then lead them along. The process of making them fall in love is simple and follows a path similar to that of a one-on-one seduction. Charismatics have certain qualities that are powerfully attractive and that make them stand out. This could be their self-belief, their boldness, their serenity. They keep the source of these qualities mysterious. They do not explain where their confidence or contentment comes from, but it can be felt by everyone. It radiates outward without the appearance of conscious effort. The face of the charismatic is usually animated, full of energy, desire, alertness, the look of a lover, one that is instantly appealing, even vaguely sexual. We happily follow charismatics because we like to be led, particularly by people who promise adventure or prosperity. We lose ourselves in their cause, become emotionally attached to them, feel more alive by believing in them. We fall in love. Charisma plays on repressed sexuality, creates an erotic charge. Yet the origins of the word lie not in sexuality, but in religion. And religion remains deeply embedded in modern charisma. Thousands of years ago, people believed in gods and spirits, but few could ever say that they had witnessed a miracle, a physical demonstration of divine power. A man, however, who seemed possessed by a divine spirit, speaking in tongues, ecstatic raptures, the expression of intense visions, would stand out as one whom the gods had singled out. And this man, a priest or a prophet, gained great power over others. What made the Hebrews believe in Moses, follow him out of Egypt, and remain loyal to him despite their endless wandering in the desert? The look in his eye, his inspired and inspiring words, the face that literally glowed when he came down from Mount Sinai, all these things gave him the appearance of having direct communication with God and with the source of his authority. And these were what was meant by charisma, a Greek word referring to prophets and to Christ himself. In early Christianity, charisma was a gift or talent vouchsafed by God's grace and revealing his presence. Most of the great religions were founded by a charismatic, a person who physically displayed the signs of God's favor. Over the years, the world became more rational. Eventually, people came to hold power not by divine right, but because they won votes or proved their competence. The great early 20th century German sociologist Max Weber, however, noticed that despite our supposed progress, there were more charismatics than ever. What characterized a modern charismatic, according to Weber, was the appearance of an extraordinary quality in their character, the equivalent of a sign of God's favor. How else to explain the power of a Robespierre or a Lenin? More than anything else, it was the force of their magnetic personalities that made these men stand out and was the source of their power. They did not speak of God, but of a great cause, visions of a future society. Their appeal was emotional. They seemed possessed, and their audiences reacted as euphorically as earlier audiences had to a prophet. When Lenin died in 1924, a cult formed around his memory, transforming the communist leader into a deity. Today, anyone who has presence, who attracts attention when he or she enters a room, is said to possess charisma. But even these less exalted types reveal a trace of the quality suggested by the word's original meaning. Their charisma is mysterious and inexplicable, never obvious. They have an unusual confidence. They have a gift, often a smoothness with language, that makes them stand out from the crowd. They express a vision. We may not realize it, but in their presence, we have a kind of religious experience. We believe in these people without having any rational evidence for doing so. When trying to concoct an effective charisma, never forget the religious source of its power. You must radiate an inward quality that has a saintly or spiritual edge to it. Your eyes must glow with the fire of a prophet. Your charisma must seem natural, as if it came from something mysteriously beyond your control, a gift of the gods. In our rational, disenchanted world, people crave a religious experience, particularly on a group level. Any sign of charisma plays to this desire to believe in something. And there is nothing more seductive than giving people something to believe in and follow. Charisma must seem mystical, but that doesn't mean you can't learn certain tricks that will enhance the charisma you already possess, or will give you the outward appearance of it. The following are basic qualities that will help create the illusion of charisma. Purpose. If people believe you have a plan, that you know where you're going, they will follow you instinctively. The direction does not matter. Pick a cause, an ideal, a vision, and show that you will not sway from your goal. People will imagine that your confidence comes from something real, just as the ancient Hebrews believed Moses was in communion with God simply because he showed the outward signs.
Wow.
Purposefulness is doubly charismatic in times of trouble. Since most people hesitate before taking bold action, even when action is what is required, single-minded self-assurance will make you the focus of attention. People will believe in you through the simple force of your character. Mystery. Mystery lies at charisma's heart, but it is a particular kind of mystery, a mystery expressed by contradiction. The charismatic may be both proletarian and aristocratic, both cruel and kind, both excitable and icily detached, both intimate and distant. Since most people are predictable, the effect of these contradictions is devastatingly charismatic. They make you hard to fathom, add richness to your character, make people talk about you. It is often better to reveal your contradictions slowly and subtly. If you throw them out one on top of the other, people may think that you have an erratic personality. Show your mysteriousness gradually, and word will spread. You must also keep people at arm's length to keep them from figuring you out. Another aspect of mystery is a hint of the uncanny. The appearance of prophetic or psychic gifts will add to your aura. Predict things authoritatively, and people will often imagine that what you have said has come true.
All right, we'll leave it at that. All right.
Okay.
That's the charismatic. We'll talk tomorrow.
Well, I am going, since I'm going through it, I'm putting my own input through there. I'm not going to rush myself with it for the infographic, because I thought about it. Depending on how we agree to do it, I won't have it done by tomorrow. Okay. So I'm just letting you know that. But it's not going to take too long. Okay.
Look at that man.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. I will see you tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, see ya.
Bye bye.
See ya. Oh, hola.
Where'd she go?
Where'd she go?
Disappeared, Dad.
Oh man, she disappeared there. So we about to go here. No, me. We about to keep it moving, keep it going. Okay. We trying to look for day 37. Let's go right here, right now. So that last episode, we was talking about the charismatic. Jay, we got both cameras going. Okay. There he go. JRX 36 with the
Hi.
Please.
Nothing much. How are you doing today?
Good. Just ate. I said I'm gonna eat before I go on today.
So, yeah.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
We talking about today.
We having the itis.
Are we talking about? Are we gonna talk about the charismatic? I'd like to talk a bit about the charismatic. You're gonna remember.
So
don't go fat boy on me now.
I'm like,
nah.
Said don't go fat boy on me now. Oh man. Yeah.
Let's put this on.
How was your day?
My day was really good. I have physical therapy today. I took a vacation day for today, just so I can get everything taken care of.
You got that vacation,
things like that and stuff. But I went over life strategies, and I'm trying to debate on exactly how I'm going to do that, which I can update you. I have more information tomorrow. I'm gonna think it through on my train ride. I started Difficult Conversations, and this book is going to be one of the best books I believe I can sense it.
That's what.
Tell me about it.
Okay, the reason why I said that,
you're hyping it up right now. That sounds like.
Yeah, and what really drew me to that point by saying that is that the part where it says, I'm gonna read this for you. The book has been used to train oil rig operators in the North Sea, NUP negotiators in the oil-rich northern slope of Alaska, and business leaders at Saudi Aramco. It's been used at the Boston Area Rape Crisis Center and the headquarters and field offices of UNAIDS. Doctors, nurses, and administrators in hospitals across the United States have used it to deliver better patient care and develop more humane workplaces. Within the U.S. government, it's distributed at the Department of Justice, the IRS, the Federal Reserve, and the Postal Service. During one administration, the White House made it required reading for its top 1,600 political appointees. Law schools, business schools, and colleges assign it, as do high school teachers, life coaches, therapists, and ministers.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hear this, so I'm gonna see if they got it on audiobook.
So I'm ready to just dive in this book. I'm still preparing, to travel, but my train ride, I'm gonna have to get into this book. I'm sorry, but I am. This is my train ride.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sold already. I'm trying to.
Well, didn't that little part right there just take it away?
So
yeah. I mean, they hyping it up. I mean, because
like to be required for the political appointees in the White House, then to hospitals and lawyers and doctors, like you can't go wrong with reading this book. You know what I'm saying?
can't. Now
There's got to be something in it. There's something in it. And I like the idea of having difficult conversations. That's how you can get to solutions, real solutions. When you can get to the bottom, when you can get to the core, when you can get to the center, when you can get to the center of the issue. Of the
Now,
thing.
unfortunately, I can't find it on audiobook. I mean, I see the author, but I can't find it doesn't look like nobody's recording audio version yet. Let me see.
I did it.
No.
Look at you, Juju. Look at you. Oh, you.
All right, I guess I'm gonna have to. Let me see. I'm gonna have to wait on you to read it and.
Yeah, most definitely. What I'll do when I read it tomorrow, when we meet tomorrow, I can take like a little section out of it and kind of like put it together for us.
I see book reviews, but I don't see like. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they do got it. Maybe they just got it broken down in a bunch of chapters. Oh, I think I might have found it. Let me see. Does it look like the chapters are short?
Let me see. Let me see about how long chapter 2 is.
Oh, it's all right. It doesn't make a difference because
they look relatively short.
Okay.
From one chapter I just reviewed. I don't want to go deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking too deep.
Well, I'm gonna have to look a little bit harder later to see if I. You got my attention now. I'm just trying to like see if
like don't that like just that part alone right there just like take it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They hyped it up real good. Let me see. Dun, dun, dun. It's like I'm looking at some person's page. They got chapter 2. That's it. They don't got chapter 1. They don't got chapter 3. Oh wait, they might not even be. They might be talking about something completely different. Oh well, let me see. I'm probably gonna have to buy it if I want to hear it on audiobook. Let's see.
Don't buy it. Do you got a local library card for your local library?
Yeah, but I probably owe money on it because I got some books. I know ever since COVID we haven't like been.
Oh, okay. See, our library is not open for us to go in. It's just curbside pickup where I go online.
Yeah, but I want to have it on audio. I like to hear it because then I could like ride my bike and hear it.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that. Like moving around during the day and actually listening.
Yeah, that's all I do. I mean, I hear a lot of stuff. Like I can hear stuff all day. You know, and it's a way of staying very efficient. Oh well, look, I'm kind of disappointed here. I'm like, womp womp womp. Usually, YouTube's pretty good about having it, but you know, they don't got it, so I'd probably have to find it somewhere else. All right, cool. Well, let me get out of here. Here. Welcome to the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown.
And I am your co-host, Alexandra. Today is Monday.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Welcome to the Taboo. You went too fast. To the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown Jules.
And I'm your co-host, Alexandra.
Blocked in.
Today is Monday, December 14th. It is 7:12 Central Time, 8:12 Eastern Time, and 5:12 Pacific Time.
And we don't have a question of the day, but we will choose to do the daily recap from yesterday.
Sure.
So you have your notes from yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What we talked about yesterday, for just like a recap overall, we talked about outgrowing relationships and the definitions of fixed mindset versus growth mindset. In a fixed mindset, your mind is set beliefs, which are grounded and firm. Growth mindset, you tend to look for ideas to expand. And overall, when you outgrow relationships, it's as if you are missing some of the red flags that you should have seen from within the beginning. So that's something to take consideration in and definitely pay attention to. We also discussed the men's program and women's program, Rites of Passage, which is destined to becoming in the future in Fort Myers, Florida, where Julian is stationed at. Talked a little bit within experts on the past and things of that. Also talking about the future with individuals who has great matchmaking skills. And in conclusion of yesterday, to tie everything up, well, Julian actually informed me of the grant that he will be writing, which is based upon adult education, job training, leadership development, entrepreneurship, which he's currently working on the narrative. And then the closer to time coming, in which I'll be traveling to Fort Myers, and which I plan to do next year sometime, we're going to hold a conference. So stay tuned for that as well.
Hey, Steezy.
Hey.
What up? Found the link. I'm good. I'm here.
You on time. You
We
right
got
on
our boy
time.
back. We got our boy back, Julie.
Yeah. You on time. Yeah, we switched up on you, huh?
Yeah, I know. I tried to log in twice. I was like, what the hell? The host already started? I did that shit 2 days in a row. I was like, what? I was like, I know they're not ending in 20 minutes. This is weird. And then I finally saw it on the chat. Like, I mean, on Facebook, like, oh, we got a new link. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, Alexandra got a link that has a longer time limit. So we running with it. So Alexandra's going on some trips and some vacations and some stuff. You want to fill them in, Alexandra?
Sure. I am actually going to Chicago. I'm leaving tonight. I'm going up there in the area to visit my family and stuff for my Christmas vacation. I'm going to return for New Year. So I haven't seen my family in over about a year. So I'm definitely looking forward to tonight.
Yes,
Congratulations. I hope you have fun.
Thank you.
I think we should have Daniel give some feedback on yesterday's question about outgrowing relationships, or get his viewpoint on it.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and introduce the concept, or you want me to do it?
I'm sure you can go ahead and do it.
Easy. So Alexandra was asking, like, how do you know when you've outgrown a relationship, or what does it mean to outgrow a relationship? You know, so what are your thoughts? And by outgrow, I guess I mean, like, you know what I mean by outgrow?
Yeah, like you just feel as if, like, no matter whether it's whoever the individual is, you just feel like they have no more use into your life. Like, it's like not benefiting you no more. The relationship, you're getting no benefits at all whatsoever, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, educational. You just feel like it's no use. It's like, do you still keep in contact with that person? Do you inform them? What is your personal viewpoint?
That's a tough one right there. I think I don't think in terms of like relationships being give or take, or sometimes things that are reciprocal, like you give, I give, if I get, you get. I think you outgrow that person, not necessarily in terms of benefits, right? Being exhausted, but if there's no growth that the individual is continuing to do with or without you, I think that's when you know, like, it's time to like cut ties, right? Because I feel like a lot of things that's been coming up for me recently in terms of like relationship or personal development is inner work, and inner work in regards to like checking in with yourself. Something similar to what we were saying previously, like checking in with yourself, seeing how you feel in the moment, seeing how you kind of feel long-term about a situation, try not to like respond without thinking, react just to react. I think that's really how you can gauge and determine if you've outgrown a relationship with somebody. Because I think for me, like, I'm always willing to have friendships, partnerships, or whatever the case may be, if the person is willing to grow and develop, right? But that moment you give up on yourself is the moment I feel like that's when it's done for. Especially if like if you take a day off and like, man, I can't work on myself today, fuck this, a week or a month, then that's cool. But if undoubtedly, right, you just gave up, like, I am not working on this no more in terms of self, then I think that's when you know, like, oh, okay, you're not even trying anymore. So let me go ahead and like adjust accordingly to fit my need, which is to no longer be around. Because like still sharp, was iron sharp as iron, still sharp as steel, whatever the case may be. I think if you look at it from that aspect, then like that's a good gauge. Because if I'm not building you up and you're not building me up, what's the point? Like, you know what I mean? But it's also making me process like acquaintance, or more so meeting people where they are, where they at, or keeping people where they at. So it's like, can I outgrow Julian if I know Jules is the turn up dude? You know what I mean? So I kick it with Jules all the time, right? So it's not necessarily I grew that relationship. I just grew to know where to keep that relationship for that moment, right? If Jules is talking about turning up, I can't be like, yo, let's create a business plan. Like, you know what I mean? Unless it's about turning up. Like, unless the business is about turning up, because I know that's where the value is for that individual. That doesn't mean I have to like not talk to them, but it's that shit when they want to turn up, or when I want to turn up, then we can be cool. Like, you know, so I don't think I really can gauge. If you talk about a partnership, I think in the same way. It's at this point, it's just like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? And I think that comes with a lot of negative. Like, I was just talking to my homegirl last night. Like, people have rough patches, and I think once you get so far deep in a rough patch, you know, whether how toxic it is, or the least bit of toxicity that is in the relationship, it's like those triggers and that trauma with that other person will never let you see past anything. Like, the moment we get into some shit continuously, and then like I could wake up the next day and say, you know what, Alexandra, this is gonna be a clean slate. We done stabbed at each other, we done shot at each other, we done yelled at each other for the last 3 years. But I know this can work if we put forth the effort. It ain't gonna be easy. It's still another long road, windy road process. But I'm gonna set all that to the past because we on some whole other shit. We want this to work. Like, you know what I mean? We want this to work. And so I think if both parties can do that and to get that, reach that intellectual and emotional vulnerability where it's just like, and keep moving forward, then yeah. But if we talk about a clean slate, and the moment you go cook some dinner and I'm cutting up again, that's because all that trauma and the triggers that are there won't allow me to adjust and reassess and try to work it out. At that point, it's too far gone. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's gonna take quadruple amount of work to try to get through to even see if there's light on the other side. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's where, you know, at that point, everything you do, I look at you with disgust. I can't stand here to hear your voice. You're walking through that door and I can't stand to see you walk through the door no more. You talk to your friends, I'm annoyed. That's when you know for sure. I think that's when you know for sure, like, you know what? This ain't gonna cut it. You need to let that go. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like two aspects to me, like the friendship and partnership piece. So I think a lot of it has to do with self. Two people working on self, right? I get that clean slate. Shit, you give me that clean slate. And be eating that. We just eating that at all costs. Like, damn, he did that dumb shit again. Like, but like, wait, let me check in on myself. It wasn't because he's just doing some dumb shit. It's because like something that happened to me in the past that won't allow me to go through it. And it's re-triggering and traumatizing because now he's perpetuating that and don't even know it because I haven't like said anything about it. So I think that's when you're able to work through stuff. But when you're not, when you can't do that, it's like, let it go.
Is it easy for you to break up or is it hard?
I think it's difficult. We could date, we could smash, due to my own vulnerability and being scared in that. I want to be friends at the end of the day at that point, right? And then like that'll work because it's like I done gave you a piece of my soul, you gave me a piece of your soul, you know what I mean? And other people value they souls at a like higher mark than I do. I'm not saying I do a little, but like I view relationships and my soul a certain way. I feel like in order for you to get to know me, like I don't have to want a long-term relationship with somebody to open up and allow them to get to know me, right? But other people, right, counterparts, view that as this person really wants me. Not saying I don't, but like this person is trying to move towards a greater purpose with me. Like, you know what I mean? And I think I'm learning how misleading that could be because I don't like gauging my feelings and my emotions at times, right? I just be like, shit, I want to give you flowers, I want to give you flowers. Today, tomorrow, tonight, you know what I mean? Whenever you want them, even if we ain't talking about long-term relationship, I'm like, I want you to feel good. Like, you know what I mean? Because I want to feel good. You feel me? Like,
Okay, if I can't edit that audio out, that's gonna be on you.
like especially if you tell me your past and how people didn't make you feel good, I'm trying to feel like that, like, you know. And so that makes a moment.
I'm busy, baby. Lower, please. Look. I'm doing this. I'm doing this.
Whoa!
I can't hear.
What happened?
I can't hear. You gotta put it down. Okay, go that way. Go that way more. Go that way more. Bessie, can you give him this charger?
For me, like difficult with the other person because there's opportunity that they know is there, right? And I'm not even thinking opportunity. I'm thinking I just want you to feel good. If you ride out, it ride out. And when you start making it complex, like I can't kick it with my homegirls. You know what I mean? Because now you're thinking like I'm doing the same thing for them, like, right? And sometimes I do that. That's just me, right? I want everybody to feel good, and so it doesn't mix well because I'm trying to learn how to like. I don't gotta get the homegirl flowers, right? You're the one I'm actually with, smashing, right? Not necessarily a relationship, but you gonna want your flowers in a certain way. They don't get their flowers, you know what I mean? Because I'm smashing you, and it's the homegirl. And that takes too much for somebody to understand. Like this nigga just gave my flowers. And I want my flowers. Wait, like, you know what I mean? Like I want my special. So it's taking me to learn that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think everybody get the point. So we good. But then like, you know, that meter start going up on the other side because like you actually won. You ain't the homegirl no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I think that's what makes it difficult because like I'm still valuing the friendship piece more than I value like the relationship. Like building piece because I'd rather build that friendship, right? Solidify that. If I can't kick it with you, you feel me? We can't get our jug on. I'm different. I can't just hit the hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit, I want to lay up in bed sometimes. You know what I mean? I want to go get fast food. I want to go to fancy restaurants all the time. Like, I'm not cut from that. When we do, I want to. But I think that's what makes it difficult because it's like, I done opened up, you done opened up, we done been chilling. We done kicked it away. She ain't never kicked it with a dude. Consent is real with Daniel. Like, you know what I mean? For my body, your body, our bodies. Like, you know what I mean? And so when you have something you ain't never had like that before, and you're like, what, you just want to be friends? And, you know, I think that's what makes it difficult, like, for me to try to sustain, at least I should say, friendships with women identified folks that are interested in me, right? Yeah.
Question. Are you able to be in a relationship with a female, like a long-term relationship with a female who doesn't want to really talk about the future? Like, she's happy just hanging out, chilling, but if you're talking, it's like about past stuff, but there's no like, we're gonna do this, or in the future this, or like, I want to build this. Like, maybe her own personal journey is personal to her.
I never had that, but I think that's something I'll be open to.
Okay. I'm asking more like from personal experience. It's very challenging for me, you know, like it's like because I want to be a part of your future, you know. But I'm wondering how your person, because I think we're similar in some ways. So I'm wondering how you would interact with that.
It's, you know, we have to begin to do self-work. I'm sold on self at this point. Like, what does it mean for me to engage with this?
That's right. That's that EI, you know what I mean? That emotional intelligence, it begins with self-awareness. Speak on it.
And allow this to exist as I want to exist. And like, I want that to exist because I really want to learn the process to figure it out. And so I can be there in a particular way in this journey that fits my needs and your needs, right? And that's not an easy process. And I say that because something similar, but way different topic. I have a homegirl. She's going to UCLA. She did a Zoom presentation with a group. They did a rendition to The Office while doing it, and she wouldn't let me see her part.
Hold on, I got to step away.
No problem.
Y'all can keep going. I just got to step away for a sec.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She wouldn't let me see her part of the presentation.
Like, she recorded it?
Yeah. They showed it in class on Zoom.
Okay.
Like, I've been there through this woman's journey for a long time. You know, she told me about her part, but she don't like seeing herself on camera, like hearing herself playback, right?
Okay.
So that was like a cut. I'm here for you all the time. I hold you down all the time. You need me, all you gotta do is pick up the phone. I'm not tripping. It would have meant the world to me if I saw that with no interruption on her behalf. Like, you know what I mean? Just because I've been on a journey, I just wanted to see it. I'm not even analytically like critiquing this shit.
Right.
I'm just like, oh shit, you really doing that because you're in school. This is my thought process. So very similar, but yet different. When it came down to it, and she really didn't want me to see it, I'm like, fuck. Like, I gotta live with that. Like, it really don't have nothing to do with me showing up all the time for it. Like, I'm just thinking in my personal, at least you would grant me that. Like, that's the least, like, yeah. I'm not asking shit. I'm just trying to stare at this shit, probably look dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not because your shit whack, but just because I'm like, I need to take it in. Like, you know what I mean? So in that moment, her journey said, nigga, this is where it stops. And it will start after this. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta eat that, right? And I have to exist. I was frustrated. I was in my feelings. I was emotional about it, to be real. But at the end of the day, that doesn't stop me from showing up for the way I show up for it. Doesn't stop me showing up for the way she wants me to show up for it. This was just something like she had attachment towards that wasn't positive, that it didn't even have to be me. She wasn't gonna show that shit to nobody. Like, you know what I mean? I was just
personal.
Yeah. I was in my bubble of like, at least like for a nigga that been there, he'll show me that, right? I'm thinking the same thing, like maybe it's like I try to look at things as a whole. Like I try to break shit down so many different ways.
Okay, go ahead, I'm listening.
And all many positive like scenarios, like first one, is it owed to you? I think that's what I just went through. Is that owed to you to know? Like why does that bother you to not know? Right. Are you trying to build with this person something that's been unmentioned by you? Right. I think that's a critical one. Like,
again, are you wanting to build?
Like, did you communicate that you're trying to build something with them? Because that's critical, right? Because that leaves opportunity to say, hey, right, like, oh shit, you're trying to build with me, versus like, I just don't want to tell you what I'm trying to do. I think manifestation is real. I think Alexandra brought that up the other day. Like, maybe I love you, but I can't tell you because, like, if I tell you, I might not see it through. Like, you know what I mean? My journey.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And also understanding like you are a part of that journey, right? It may not look like what you want it to look like. Mm-hmm. And that's something I'm learning for myself for real. And that's like one of the realest shits ever too. So then I follow up with that is like, how am I communicating how I would like to show up and be a part of your journey? Or can you please tell me how I can be a part of that journey in some form of fashion that allows me to show up and fill my cup while your cup is still getting filled?
So how are you showing up? You know what I mean? I'm over here silent because I'm just listening. How are you showing up? You showing up at all? You know, you showing up halfway? You showing up? What's your energy? What's the effort that you're putting into the other person? No effort. How you showing up? Are you listening?
Because we in this together. Because I believe in 50-50. I believe in 50-50 relationships. We don't gotta fuck for that. Mutual. We can be mutual. Like, you know what I mean? As long as you're able to get what you need, meaning me supporting you in the way you want to be supported, and I'm feeling supported the way I want you to support me, there's no limit to what we can do, right? But I do understand that feeling of like, baby, what's up? What's good? Like, how you doing? You know, how you feeling? You know, what's on your mind? Like, where you trying to go? Where you trying to head? Like, what's the next 5 years looking like for you? Like, you know what I mean? I get that, because it's also like you want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And I think it's really, I don't think it's boundaries, because I hate boundaries. I hate when people use the term boundaries, right? Okay. I don't think it's like boundaries.
Let's talk about it, you know, because I use the word boundaries, but I'm open to using a better word.
Maybe I think even some follow-up questions in regards to, like, you know, has anything happened that, I won't even say between us, in the past that you won't allow someone to show up for you on your journey in a specific way, right? In a particular way, because I think that's critical too.
Trauma, you know, trauma. That's it. There's an experience that created a pressure that you was unable to handle, and now it traumatized you, and you make decisions based on that past experience, and it affects your future because there's opportunities that you're missing because you're not moving in the direction of the opportunity. So you have to heal from that trauma. You have to revisualize that. You have to recontemplate and redefine that experience that caused that trauma in a way that allows you to be able to move forward without having any opposition or resistance in accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish.
I got it.
Because I think that begins to put you as an individual at ease. Like, oh shit, well, you know, when can I interject? Like, because I think sometimes too, like, I could get jargony in the sense that people may think I'm trying to tell them about themselves or tell them about something, when really it's just a blip in my mind that's just like, let me share this. And it's not like sharing in terms of like, well, this is what you're doing, or this is how I view your shit. It's just me being insightful and just saying it out loud, because that's just what I think I process out loud all the time, right? And so I think there's caution around that too, right? Because like in past relationship,
if you ain't got consent to share or express something about the past or the future, you might as well not.
I'm known to be the one to talk, and my ex is like, well, you always sound like you're trying to be smart, outsmart me or something like that. And I'm like, damn, a nigga just think to himself all the time. You know, a lot of people don't do that. Talk to myself out loud all the time by myself. Like, so my communication is a little different. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking to walls all day, literally. Like, ain't nobody around here. So when sometimes the human connection could be a little off, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to talking to, like, you know, the stuff around me or just to myself, you know, and just building upon that. Where when I get to some people,
that's understandable though.
Yeah.
That's understandable because you live alone.
So go ahead.
So many of us live alone, even though we not alone. We live alone in here. Some people call that a mental illness. But what is it really? What is it really? You know, it's a person who's been traumatized, who's experienced some sort of event that has caused them to exit the moment and in their mind shift to thoughts and ideas about the past or the future. So, are you in the moment? What's your storyline?
No, go ahead, I'm listening.
So everything that you mentioned, I kind of wrote some stuff down so I could talk at it. Like, I've experienced having to ask myself all those questions, and it's been very complicated. I'm gonna just talk freely because that's why we're here. So, and you know,
empathize.
You know, me and my partner's name is Betsy. You know,
Betsy,
like, it ain't no secret, and but it's important for me to share because it has shaped who I am. Like, I'm so grateful for our relationship because it's allowed me to like grow and develop like how I could never imagine. And I'll start by saying is like, I've always said that we're not compatible. That's what I would always say. And then to use some of the language that you use, one of my reasons for saying that is that I don't naturally support her or love her the way she wants to be loved, and she doesn't naturally support or love me the way I want to be loved.
What that mean?
So there's like an incompatibility right there. So
what that mean?
And then because we're in relationship, you know, we have children together. I felt like she owed me that. yo, like let me, I should be a part of your life. Like I want to like know about your future. Like I want to be deeper involved in the relationship with you. However,
but you don't think you're compatible, so why should she let you in?
Because of her past hurts, including from me, like from me and past hurts, that wasn't available to me.
She shouldn't let you in.
You know what I mean? And I'm wanting to build together, and I'm saying, hey, listen, the only way
have you earned it
that we could ever work out, or the way that this non-compatible situation can improve, is if I can be a part of your journey, because then that allows me to feel like significant. Because I guess if I'm honest about it, it's almost like maybe I'm feeling not significant.
I'm hearing you now. So that's what you want and need. You want to feel significant, my friend. Is that what it is? You want to feel significant?
Like I don't feel useful.
A little bit of attention and affection.
Useful to her. Like I feel like, why am I here? Like yo, I think that my specialty is to look into the future. Like you see how you have insights?
You want some words of appreciation.
I think that's one of my specialties, like to share my insights on how we can improve the situation, and not from a judgmental standpoint, but like just from the idea of things can continuously get better. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. Was that version Gen A, Gen 1, the new now? Experience it. Or progressively get better, and I'm just talking out loud on observations. But because I would say we're not compatible, I'm probably not using language that she likes.
Yo, so we're not compatible. So what that mean? Is that your first statement? Using language she doesn't like. So what does it mean to not be compatible? Because I'm still waiting on that.
I'm probably well, not probably, I was maybe being offensive, sometimes maybe belittling or demeaning, not consciously. And then if I was frustrated, yes, consciously, you know, and then maybe I didn't realize the impact that I was having until I got older, because it maybe like sometimes I would make her feel inadequate. And I know that I'm doing it because like out of frustration, I'm trying to incorporate myself into her life, but I'm getting rejected, you know, and then I'm feeling like it's owed to me. So I'm trying to push a little bit harder, but it's backfiring because it's only causing her to withdraw. It's only causing her to withdraw more. So to go back to the original question, can you build with someone or be with someone who doesn't want to talk about the future? Is like I've kind of had to learn the lesson, and okay, how can I be here and that not be part of my situation? Now psychologically, bro, that was challenging. Like that, like, because then that made me want to go get other women, just to be completely clear. Like I'm like, yo, like I gotta talk. Like I gotta use this, you know, I gotta be able to feel useful somehow, you know. And then what that does is like it creates like a wedge between us. Now, what ended up working out for us, I started practicing what I call reset. And that's like, so whenever we had disagreements, which was really probably frustrations because we're not in alignment, you know, we have different perspectives as to like how things should be, like maybe different parenting.
Since we're not talking about the future, we headed in two different directions.
Thoughts, different financial.
And that causes resistance and opposition.
Financial thoughts.
That affects the relationship.
When I realized that my words were not going to solve it, like I had to stop trying to talk it out. I had to stop trying to like force a conversation. And over time, you know, it got better because then I had to learn how to just be, you know, without being included in that part of her life, you know. And then on the flip side, also not even sharing my part either, like because at the same point, it was like a two-way street. It's almost like what brought me joy necessarily didn't bring her joy the way I would expect it to bring her joy, you know. So
okay, so is that kind of where you're going at with not compatible? So what causes her joy doesn't necessarily cause you joy? So then it's almost like it's hard for you guys to both be performing one activity and both be feeling joy. Is that kind of like, huh?
So then for me, that's been like a big challenge. Now, how I'm able to overcome it today is that's I don't make that part of our relationship no more. Like I got friends now. Like I'm gonna go have female friends. I'm gonna have male friends, and I can talk about the future to my other friends, you know. But a part of me still craves or still desires to be in tune with that. Like I would want that to be, at least for me, I think that that's an important part. If I'm going to be with someone, I want to be able to daydream about the future, and I want it to be compatible. Like I want us to talk about the same places we want to go, like the same things we want to go, like literally in real life and also spiritually. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. It's like I've had to kind of like hearing you use all those words were like, yeah, like that's how I felt, you know.
So what does it mean to be non-compatible?
I think
what does it mean to be non-compatible before we go to our brother man Steezy? So non-compatible, okay. So we got money, we got X, and we got conversation/connection. You know, so if we're not compatible on our belief about money, we're not compatible. If we're not compatible about X in terms of drive, about frequency, then we're not compatible. If we're not compatible about the things that we like to do with our time, then we're not compatible. So it's hard to harmonize that relationship if you're just not compatible. However, I can tell you it is possible.
I thank you for sharing that too. This because it's really for myself. That's why I keep saying self work. It's some shit.
Self work, bro. That's been all self work, and the same thing for her. My bad for interrupting, but
No
you the fact that you brought it up is like that's what has allowed us to even because we're really good friends. Like we're really good friends. But she's on her journey now, and I respect that. You know, like, and she's doing inner work, and shoot, I've been doing inner work, you know, as far back as I could remember, you know. But now she's doing inner work in a way that
Inner work, self work, whatever you want.
I would encourage her, you know, when we were younger. Not that maybe she wasn't doing it before, but she was probably doing it now. She's doing it more in the way that's kind of the way that I look at it. But yeah, inner work
with more intensity, with more more consistently and frequently.
I've been so busy doing inner work that it's easy to coexist. And that's the critical piece you have to highlight for yourself as well. The time period that you have been doing it, at this point, it don't matter what partner you're with. It may far exceed anybody you engage with because you already understood from a long period of time to work at something and work at self. So that's something I think I find myself in a predicament when it comes to meeting women and friends, because it gets to a point where I'm the one as a male identified person, right? That's holding space for everybody. Everybody calls on me for emotional support, you know, and like at times when I need it, I can't pick up. There ain't nobody answering the phone, right? So I have to still deal with self and figure it out for yourself so I can continue to show up in my best capacity for myself and others, even though like folks drop the ball on the phone for me or when I want them to hold space for me. But I think the critical piece I think you identified is that your partner is now doing inner work. So how can you support them through that process too without being frustrated, you know, without withdrawing, without feeling rejected? Because that is still your journey on your pathway for inner work. It's now trying to figure that out. And the unique thing I love about myself and inner work is the fact that as a male identified person that is very intellectual, right? And like prides himself, you just have to figure that shit out. And if you're really about this partner and or anything that you're trying to stand for or that you're trying to get with this partner, you will do what's needed to figure it out to make it happen, right? Because even like when you
that's deep, you just gotta figure it out. That's some alpha-ish. Now, what does that mean, alpha-ish? That means that's some survival-ish. What does that mean? That's some survival-ish. That means that is some truth that if you follow, you will win. Simple.
I'm slow down with even talking about it. I start thinking action based because I think I could talk nowadays. I can talk. Before I didn't talk. Like now I can talk. Now it's consistency with actions. Like right, if this is something I want us to achieve and get to at a point because I value it for us, and we're not there yet, right? Because it's not just like you ain't there. It's us at this point, right? I have to figure that out with actions. Like how am I showing up for this partner in the ways that they like, right? How am I slowly but yet effectively communicating how I would like for them to show up with me and for me, right? Because that's another journey in itself to try to build to a point that you really want to get to that is possible. The compatibility piece, I think, is another critical piece you brought up because you completely didn't say anything negative about shit in that moment. You just said the way I naturally love and the way she naturally loves. It's just two different things. That is real. And to figure that out is not easy, but I do feel like there's little drops in both that can't happen because we talked about unconditional. I think I love everybody at this point.
Right.
I'll even be open enough to say male identified, women identified. Ain't no shit. I love everybody. Now I'm hetero, but that doesn't change the fact like I love strong people. Like I got homeboys I just love. Like bro, if something was to happen to you, I'll go fucking crazy. I just know that, right? Because it's always been I really hold on and love mutual relationships.
Avoid that. We want to keep you sane unless crazy is what you really want. See, I'm not 730. I am crazy, but if you want to be crazy, then keep it. But if not, let's avoid it. You good, homies. You sane.
I explain that enough. Like if we could just kick it, talk shit, don't do shit all day, stay in the house all day, then finally go out. You the homie or homegirl, we were fucking cool. We chilling. If I got you when you need something, you got me when I need something. Ain't no bad blood there. But I think that realignment, right?
Bad blood. What that mean? We gotta define that. You know what I'm saying? Non-compatible defined it a little bit. Bad blood, we gotta define it. There's another episode we talk about it, but we don't quite define it. Let's talk about that. Bad blood. You know what I mean? So it's not good blood. Good blood is ease. A relationship that is experienced with ease. Bad blood, that means that there's some opposition. There's some comrade-ish thing going on. There's not no confidant. This is nearly a foe, an enemy. Someone who's in opposition to your future. Someone who wants to stop you in your tracks. So that's what that is.
I think it's showing you something different. Like for me, it's
Bad blood. Bad blood means it doesn't mix. It's not even the same because it's bad blood. So it's blood that don't mix. Opposite charge. You might be optimistic. That's pessimistic blood. At least that blood is pessimistic when it got to do with you.
It's like, damn,
That's bad blood.
you know, baby, like you know just how I show up for you. And what I'm realizing now is like, I can't put that expectation on the other person because I fucking show up. You know what I mean? Now,
You a teacher, broski. You know, teach us how to show up. You're the definition of loyalty. At least that's what your expressions communicate. And I believe, you know, do your thing. Show us how it's done. You know, be that living example of it. Power to you.
I don't think somebody else can show up the way I show up, honestly. And there's somebody that
And I'm taking note because I want to show up like that. I'm taking note. I wish. You know, I've made many wishes over the years. I wish that I could learn to speak off the cuff like one of my mentors, teachers, confidants. You know what I mean? Let's call him Watson. Yeah, K. Watson. Shout out. Shout out to K. Watson. Know what I mean? Yeah.
I possibly can and will.
I like to make wishes. I like to wish to be the definition of loyalty. In what respects? Yeah, I'm a lion. I'm a Leo. I'm a lion that is royal. Royal assumes loyalty. So what's your loyalty? Now, this is all a story. These are all words I got to tell myself so that I can see the world in a particular way. And it's not my intention that my words become offensive. My intention is that my words just become inspirational, meaning it causes you to wish to be the best version of yourself and live in purpose. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I want to be loyal, you know, because I've been accused of not being loyal because I've been loyal to the principle, because I'm forever loyal to principles. But some people want you to be loyal to words, to people. I mean, to people. I'm loyal to words, and people want to be loyal to people. You know, that could become challenging when the people that want you to be loyal to them, you know, have imperfections. But don't we all have imperfections? But then what's the greatest imperfection? He or she that does not ask for consent before creating a disruptive situation, a potentially disruptive situation.
But when that happens, it happens. But I can't expect everybody to show up and love me the way I love them unconditionally, right? However, I can say it will excite me if you allow me to do this for you. You know what I mean? I would love to be able to do this for you, right? Is there a way I can do this for you, like in a particular way that's comfortable for you and like still gets me excited, right? And those critical pieces in terms of friendships and partnerships too, because I had a person tell me that they couldn't show up for me because they was busy. And I was like, damn, like I showed up for you this whole time. I was busy as shit. That's that other person. Like, you know, I can't fault them for that. They communicated, right? It sucked, but they communicated, right?
So let's talk about that. What happens when you invest more time in a person that they invest in you? Man, I've been on both sides of that. And I want to apologize if I have ever disrupted you because of the amount of time that I was dedicating to that relationship. If you felt that it was unequal or uneven, it wasn't my intention to create no disruption. But if I have caused that, my bad. But yeah, that could be an issue. Because then it shows that then there may be this perception that there's a varying level of care to that relationship, when in reality it's just two different schedules. You know what I mean? Now granted, it doesn't take away that if you have all these priorities, is that person really priority? Like are we talking about the future? To the degree that we talk about the future, then our lives will connect. To the degree that we're not talking about the future, our lives will not connect. So how can we get our lives to connect? We gotta talk about the future.
And it's times I drop those subtle reminders, like, yeah, you know, I would like this, because I do the same thing. I think your withdrawal, I feel like it was more of a default. Like, shit, it's easier for me to just talk to other people at this point. But something critical about that too that I want to uplift you said is like friends. Now, I think at times I failed in friendships and partnerships because like, shit, if I bless you and let you into my aura, my space, like shit, if I let you in my arm's distance, like, you know what I mean? Like that means something. Like to me, I'm opening up. Like, you know, if there's something wrong that you're doing or something I don't like, I want to talk to you about that. Shit, I want to gossip with you. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gossiping nobody, but shit, I'm looking at you like, I'm Daniel, shit, the king, you the queen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I want to hold back. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And that doesn't always get to happen. You know, so you need friends because that's a burden I'm putting on somebody. To me, it's a standard I'm holding up.
Right.
But they got their own lives too. You know what I mean? Outside of whatever we got.
And they haven't necessarily made a contract to like give me that part of their life either.
Yeah. Because once it's there, you can get to it. It can happen. And this is bringing me back to the how do you know when the relationship is done? Shit, I think at that point, you don't work so hard. Openly, honestly, transparent, without fault, to make it happen with no error for a long period of time, and you just kept eating it. Like, here, there you go. Okay, that didn't work. You trying to respond to that negative, but I'm not gonna hold it against you. Like, you know, I'm gonna keep striving for it. I think
that's that reset. That's that forgiving and forgetting reset. Now, the forgetting is interpreted differently by different people, you know, but that's that resetting, and consequences are okay. Not everyone, you don't have to experience reset in that way, but you know, this is the high road. This is the high road to the top, meaning the difficult way. The difficult way allows you to gain strength.
By that time, after that like long period of time, if you know you ain't fucking up, like you know you're showing up, you opening that door. Because I was just on some like Instagram live last night, just talking about their like traditional values, certain women and stuff like that. So you know you're doing these little things, you trying to bring that excitement into it, but you're doing it consistently to the point of burnout. Then I think that's a time period that you know. Like I think for me, if I woke up today, I bought flowers. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna buy flowers every day. Like, you know what I mean? And I was doing it, and then like 2 days I didn't buy flowers. I think like for me, I have to reset. Like, bro, you didn't buy flowers every day, so you can't hold it against this person. Like, you see what I'm saying? Now I'm buying flowers every day. Let's say I did it for 6 months, then stop buying flowers every day. Then I know, damn, 6 months of buying flowers every day, still no budge. Then it's time for me to do something because like it's not gonna work. Because
now that does get challenging because then that almost gives the perception of an action with an expectation. But I know we good, man, so I get it. And I hope that we talk more about it. But before we go into it, let me make that little asterisk. I believe, I speak for myself, it wouldn't be my intention to do actions with the intention of having an expectation. And I do that because expectations create disappointments. I don't even want to experience disappointments. For what? Been there, done that. I'm good. Now, if you want to, that's cool. No, I'm just saying, me, I'm good. Create no expectation. However, I understand where he's coming from, you know, and then there got to be clarity in the relationship. Is this where we headed? You know, because if we aren't saying we headed nowhere, then we don't expect us to just start heading that way. You know, so that way, that somewhere.
Consistently, I was trying to make sure I was consistent. You know, put that positive energy out there, and then since it didn't work, and I was like fully showing up authentically 100%. With minor error, because I'm human, right? With minor error, but like I put myself in that state of like, I don't know, I watch the Avatar and I'm watching Inuyasha nowadays. So it's like I put myself in a state of vulnerability, and I walked in that state, like by faith, for lack of better words to say. And it didn't work, then it didn't work. But I'm okay with it not working because I know I put that 100 million% in, and it just didn't work. But when you have faults at your own, when you're racing,
and then you know what, it's not working right now doesn't mean it won't work in the future, and doesn't mean it won't shape form and take form and have different labels that you could attach to it, and it's all good. And based on my knowing these steeds, yeah, and that's how it is. That's how we flow. You know, we just flow through time. If the time is right, it's right. If it's not, it's not, and it's all good. We just keep moving forward, growing and developing. That's how we would say.
Against the past, you know, when you're trying to undo what has been done, or you're trying to break through what has been done, that's a process in itself. You gotta be willing to be in that game, that race, you know. Once you get petty though, you don't want to do the petty shit. But like that's how you know for me. Like when we tit for tat, we done. Like we just ain't no point. Nobody's trying to do nothing in it. Like, you know.
Now tit for tat is a strategy. What does tit for tat mean? Let's talk about it. It means if I do something, then you do something. I do something, you do something. I do good, you do good. I do bad, you do bad. I do good, you do good. You do bad, I do bad. It's kind of eye for an eye, tit for tat. You know, that's a strategy that ought to be used with strangers, tit for tat. So, do we talk about it now? Well, my strategy has not been tit for tat. My strategy has been tit, 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 tat, tit, 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 tat. And I'm not even expecting the tat. It's just tit, 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 tit. So for me, I'm just thinking tit, 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 with whoever's around me, tit, 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 tit. And then if you're on the receiving end of the tit, the question is he gonna come back with another tit? Because I don't want to create no commitments because I just want a tit. Tit. You could tat, tit, tat, tit, tat, tat, tit, tat, tit, tat, tit, tat. I'm cool with tit, tat in that way, but I'm titting. I'm tit. You could tat. That's cool. You know, and then we tit tat together. You know, but I'm not gonna expect that tat. I'm just tit consistently, persistently. Tit. And that's it. And eventually the tats will come. Now, some people can't go there, and I get it, but I got lots to give. Shout out to MGM for that lesson. Give. Just keep giving. Just keep giving. Overflow the cup. Overflow. Why not? Tit.
You know, but I really think like if you're doing 100 million%, like I said, without flaw, like you're being cautious, like because what else? So I think I'm gonna close on this one because I can keep going.
These he be on that tit, you know what I'm saying? Tit. Even though he said tit for tat, but really it's tit. That's what he's saying. Yeah, he's on that tit. You know, respect.
What you said to me, what came up for me too was this notion of water bottle, being as intellectual as you are and confident is never going to be an easy process. You don't think the same as everybody else. You just don't. You don't process the same way as everybody else. I don't process the same way as everybody else.
No, this man about to go, and he's saying we don't process the same. We don't process the same. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear this. But first, let me...
I literally don't think the same way as everybody else. I literally have to think normal shit, so to speak, for myself to understand how certain things I do looks fishy to other people. Women identify partners. Like, legit. I could go spend the night over 6 homegirls' houses and not try to have sex. I am good. Sleep on the floor. I can sleep in the bed with their ass too. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it. But that's just me.
Other women
now,
don't understand that.
as my partner, that if I had one, it would be an issue. My mind just doesn't think like that. Like, you know, like, and that's something that I'm dealing with. Like, I have to. It's weird. Like, I'm serious too.
I get it.
I have to ground myself in like the stat quo to understand how other people view me at certain times, or to understand why they say what they say. Like, I have to think the way normal people think in order for me to get shit. Like, and sometimes it sounds like
you gotta be neurotypical. Nah, we atypical here. IU, you know what I mean? Atypical IU. That's that A. Look, atypical IU.
Being defensive with people, and I'm talking like, no. My mind is not wired that way to say sleeping at your homegirl's house, you might be fucking it, or you might be cheating. My mind, because my mind was never there to begin with. My mind was all like, shit, I'm probably drunk, I need a place to stay. Or you tripping, I need a place to stay. Like, you know what I mean? My mind isn't wired to like think, don't sleep over the homegirl house you used to be involved with, that this person know that you used to be involved with, right? My mind is just like, okay, this is not even like a relationship, this is a friend now. Like, I'm just about to go crash because you tripping. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it takes me a while through hearing conversations with people over and over again to like have to like readjust and be like, oh shit, wait, no, think again, Daniel. This looks fishy, and you already know it looks fishy when you go through some shit with this other person. So you might want to think a little bit more deeper the way regular people think about the situation and not do it. Like, you know, it takes me. I really have to do that. I really have to do that for myself. I have to think backwards in order to like get what people are saying about how
he visualizes the world from the other people's perspective.
I process how I think, or how things just look wrong sometimes in order for me to make sure I achieve what I want.
Society's perspective.
This one person talks to me about loyalty. I think love at this point, to me, you'll get to it, but love is overrated. Like, I think loyalty is where it's at. Like, can I trust that? Like, I need you to trust me. Like, there's a room full of basketball players, models, tennis players. Like, you gonna come home to a nigga untouched and unscathed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can sit there and flirt if that's what you're into. Like, but you gonna come back like, it's about you. You know what I mean? Like, it's about us. Like, that was that moment in time I was Star Trek. I entertained the crowd. You know what I mean? There was nothing for her to do other than bring her ass home. Not saying she had to come home at that particular time, but just saying that at the end of the day, like, loyalty will be revealed in that moment where it's like, oh, yeah, y'all niggas got millions of dollars, but shit, I know where I'm laying my head down at night. Like, I think loyalty, and it's vice versa, right? I have to do the same thing. I think for me, that's bringing up a lot in terms of vulnerability and commitment as well. Like, I gotta be loyal. Like, shit, even if we dating, I might just have to cut all these other people off, even though, like, I'm probably dating them too, right? Because dating is not necessarily a monogamous, committed, full-time relationship. Like, it can be foolish for some people. Some people don't like other people dating while they date. gotta figure that out. Like, you know what I mean? And I think how you figure that out too is in the boundaries of loyalty as well, because I gotta respect that this is what I have. Like, I mean, I have to respect this is something that I'm trying to build, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I think loyalty, if we begin to look at love as something loyal, then I think that leaves room for negotiation, and it also leaves room for 100% respect and trying to figure things out. Period. Because if I'm being loyal to you, like I said, ain't no amount of money can be flashed my way. Ain't no supermodel girl, non-supermodel girl come my way and take me away from you. You know what I mean? No personal business, none of that. Like, because my loyalty is like with you. You feel me? And that's a code that I think folks need to honor. Like a lot of shit, I think ain't no more loyalty in it. You know what I mean? A lot of shit, but yeah.
Alexandra, what are you hearing? Alexandra, hop in.
What I'm hearing, like overall, and this is just my input, like when it comes to, and this, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what Dane said a little bit. Like he said, he got friends where he could just go stay nice, sleep on the floor, sleep in the, you know, in the bed, not even do nothing with them. And it's like, even it's like me, like if I have male friends, and I'll be like, I'm gonna go stay the night. Like I do have individuals that, you know, I haven't, you know, talked to in a long time, but they don't look at me in the form of when I come over, I'm gonna get butt naked and we finna do this. They were looking for to sit back, talk, kick it, you know what I mean? Just talk really, and probably just, you know, and then me not having seen them in a long time, they'd be so happy to see me that I can actually go fall asleep in their bed and won't think twice about this person touching me just because we cool though. We got that understanding, you know what I'm saying? Well, if somebody on the outside looking in, just say another male friend. Oh, I'm going to stay the night over my friend house. He's a guy. What you going over there to do? What y'all finna do? You know what I mean? It's like people really don't understand the concept. I mean, in my younger days, yeah, probably could have flew by like I'm going to kick it with this dude, and you know what I mean? But like now that I'm older, like it don't fly by me. And then another thing is I got my own place. If I really want to do something, and you know what I mean, I would mind inviting them, you know, somebody over. But like my mindset is so focused and so engraved on what I got planned for my future and stuff. And to be honest, to just be overall honest, I'm being like extra open, is that I am currently practicing abstinence because I just recently had a divorce. And when you have sex with someone, you take on a toll emotionally. You take on a lot of things. People don't understand that. Like you take on a lot of things when your two bodies interacting that way. And I'm not looking to take on those extra emotions and those extra things. And I don't want it in my life right now because I just want to be positive. Now, I'm not going to say like, if I meet a guy, will I give him the chance of conversation, because it can happen 4 or 5 months from now. I may meet someone who may be so intriguing for me to want to get to know that I'm not going to deny him the chance to get to know me, you know what I'm saying, because I am on that. But if that topic ever was to be discussed, however, I will explain it to him. I can't speak for the future or how it will happen. I can speak for now and what I'm practicing for now, because I may meet someone. I may become sexually active, you know what I mean? But like right now, I'm sticking in my focus on what I have driven. And one thing I've learned is that I'm more happier with practicing abstinence and being by myself than I am having a guy friend and being sexually active with. Like I'm more happier. And right now I'm in the process where I'm choosing to love myself more than anything in this world. And if that is part of my happiness, I'm going to stick with that because I want to be happy.
I think that was well said, honestly. Especially the piece in regards to like taking on people's emotions.
You take on people's emotions. Like people don't understand that. Like you can say, oh, that's just my little fling, or that's just my, but guess what? You steady giving this person some of you. You steady giving this person some of you, no matter when you drunk, sober. You steady doing that. Why are you doing that? Not saying it's a bad thing because we are grown and I'm not judgmental. It's just that I'm not trying. My happiness that I got right now is for me. I can't share this happiness because I'm still building me. Now, if I ever come to a point and I want to share this happiness and I want to do something extra, that's my business. By all means, I'm grown. I can do that. But I know where I'm happy right now, but I'm also learning myself, and I'm learning to communicate. And what I mean by communicate is I've had bad attitude problems in the past, like in relationships and stuff, because I was always dwelling on the abusive relationships that I was in. But guess what? I have to be by myself to learn myself, to focus on myself. So in the future, when I do meet somebody, I'm not always going off on the smallest things. Yeah. I don't want to be with nobody and I'm nagging him. I want to be with somebody that I can pray with, grow old with, treat good. When they're not treating me right or when they're not doing something right, I don't go to other people and talk about them. I want to be able to come to him, sit down, sit back, have dinner, and we have decent adult conversations. I want to be with somebody that if he ever felt the need that he wanted to step out on me, that he would have the courage to come tell me and leave me. Like I want what's real, and in order to want what's real, I have to be what's real.
Yeah. Very, very valid. Very valid points right there. And I think that's one of the reasons why I skip out on relationships at times too, because I try to tell women that like some people don't want to be in a committed relationship with a label, because I understand like their past experiences and trauma, but they'll use that as leverage to go do what the fuck they want to do, when it's really just like, just say that you hurt, just say that you're scared, just say it's not for you, therefore you want to do these things in a type of way. You want to have a type of relationship that is not of the norm, right? Because of things that happen.
Then it's like you finding out surprises just along the way because this person decided to go do this. Oh, well, then here comes this excuse of this trauma event. Okay, you could have let me know about that from the jump.
Yeah, I think that's why I try to tell folks like, I'd rather just be friends because I don't want to deal with the things that's going to come up, because now we're in a relationship. The emotions that are involved with, like, I might not want to talk to them. Like, you know what I mean? Because we still have to build to this long-term situation where, like, I just got out of something for 5 years. Like I said, like, I could run away from now. I could run towards it again. Not with that person, but with someone else. But I don't think right now, I think I exhausted all my energy and self in the work. And that
Tune out. The Black Hair Party has presented the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. That was your host, JRX36. We will see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye. This is